Alright, so this is my fourth time recording this video in like a month, and the first time I recorded it I was wrong, the second time I didn't like anything I said, and the third time I forgot the audio. So this is my fourth time recording it, so please forgive me if I miss saying something or I misspeak or I sound like I'm kind of over it, because honestly I am. And I'm kind of ready to be done using these mice, but not for the reasons you might think, so stick around for that. Okay, so let's start off with the easy one first. Here's the Razer Viper V3 Pro, and it's a safe shape, it's a symmetrical shape, fits nice in the hand. Really reminds me of my Starlight. Let's go to the overhead cam. Really reminds you of what my Starlight felt like before I modded it. So when we look at the shape here, it's got this back hump that goes down pretty drastically. It's got low front buttons. It's a pretty textured mouse overall, and I'd say it's really grippable, but at the same time it doesn't feel like it gets like sweaty, and I don't really have an issue with mice anymore really getting slick. But it's definitely more textured than other mice. Even its other brother here, the other mouse we're here to talk about. Here's the Razer Deathadder V3 Pro. These are both wireless mice, both using the same sensor, that 30K optical DPI optical Razer sensor, whatever they got nowadays. They're both really good, but this is a different mouse all around, so I'm gonna show this straight on. You can see that it's an Ergo mice, not a safe shape at all, not a symmetrical shape. A much taller hump. Let's go and look at the hump size comparison. A much taller hump. And actually when I hold it in my hand here, my hand has to take a completely different shape when holding this mouse. And it's just because this one fills the palm more. And at first, here's where I was wrong at first. So I really didn't like on that left side of your screen, or on the right side of your screen actually, there's this hump in the back right here. And because of the way I hold my mouse, and I hold it in this claw grip, and then I kind of rest the top of my the underside of my knuckles here on the mouse to give that extra grip. And then I'll come back with the palm and also grip there too. So it's like a palm, but I like arch, so I don't know what you want to call that, but that's how I grip my mouse. Because I grip my mouse like that, my pinky would end up right here and it would kick it out, and it felt like I couldn't get a grip on it because I couldn't like, it's like all the different parts of the locking mechanism of my hand. Everything that wants to grip on one just wouldn't go into the right spot. But honestly, it's just a skill issue. So at first, when I did my initial review, I'm like, this is like a Starlight. It's grippier, but it's more available and better for that. Like it's gonna be just as good for most people. It's a little bit heavier, and Razer Synapse isn't great, but everything else about the mouse is top tier, high quality. Would recommend this mouse. And then my initial review on the Deathadder V3 Pro was that it's an Ergo mouse, and honestly, Ergo mouse just aren't the move. It's big, I don't fit in my hands. Even though I have big hands, it's just too clunky for me, yada, yada, yada. But then I thought back to myself, I was like, hold on, my first mouse that I used for over a year that I really liked, was an EC2A, and I had some mice before that, but like the EC2A really struck out to me as like, this is the mouse where I got into FPS games on it, and I really loved it. All the pro CS players were using like EC2As. It was just like the top at the time. Gosh, this was like 7 years ago at this point, but that's really when I got into FPS games, and that's an Ergo shape too. That really kind of reminded me, at least in my head, about how I felt about this mouse. So I was like, okay, just gonna give it time. So I literally took all the mice off my desk. I have like, you know, the Starlight, I have this like Steel Series mouse, I have a couple Razer mouse, even my G Pro X. Actually, this mostly stays at my office, but and all the other mice off my desk, and I just used this for like a solid week straight. And I've been using these mice on and off for about a month straight, but a solid week straight, I just used the Deathadder, and I got used to it, and it started to grow on me, and now I can see why people would like it. I think more people would like it. Now, I don't think that Ergo mice are the best for everyone, but I do think if you want an Ergo mice and you have big hands, this is definitely going to be the mouse for you. So definitely check it out. The price on these mice is about consistent with what we're seeing with other mainstream top tier wireless mice. I mean, you got like the G Pro X Superlight going at around like what, 130. These are coming in at like anywhere between 120 and 150. Look for sales, look for what you can. I mean, a mouse is a mouse when it comes from these companies. They're all pretty much the same. It's not like you're buying like a limited time product, so don't worry, wait for sales, do whatever you need to do to get them at an affordable cost. But overall, know if you buy them, you're gonna get a top tier mouse. with a top tier sensor. They're nice and lightweight, and they're good mice all around. I would say if I had some complaints about them, as far as the way it integrates with your PC, and this isn't something everyone talks about all the time, but okay, so they have a USB-C cable. Let's pull it up, right? It's actually here on my other computer. These mice aren't plugged in right now, but it's this nice braided cable. It has a USB-C at the end and a USB type A at the other end. That nice little Razer green on the inside there that you can see. And that's always pretty sweet. Nice to see those little touches, but it has this little hub, and I don't know, let's zoom in on that. You can see that there. They got this nice little hub with a USB type C in the back. And then they got these little, like, almost like the Logitech dongles, but they're barely stick out of your computer. So these are good, even if you had like a laptop or anything like that. I know it was hard to see, but trust me, it's a little USB stick. But they're pretty good, and you're supposed to be able to connect multiple mice to them. I never did because I wanted to know which mice were connected to which computer at what time, and I didn't want to mess around with the software. Speaking of the software, Razer Synapse is still pretty terrible. Didn't blue screen my computer at all, but like honestly felt like driver software is so gross now when it comes to peripherals. I hate using it, but like it used to just make my computer inoperable. Now at least I could turn it on, and I did like that I could only set, like, you can set all your DPI staging, and the DPI button's on the bottom. Also made me feel like I'm using an EC2A. Same spot on both of the mice, which is nice. The software let me set 2 DPI modes, so I could go 400 to 800, which is my normal like range, and now I pretty much just stick at 800 the whole time, so it doesn't matter. These do go up to 30K, but I don't think that matters for most people. These do have that new hyper smooth mouse sensing technology, and it's still a top tier mouse. Can't tell the difference, so if you can tell the difference, that's great for you. I wouldn't buy it based off that, but it's nice to know that you're getting the best of the best when you spend 150 bucks on a mouse. So yeah, not something to buy the mouse over, but something just to keep in mind. Other than that, I think that's about it. I mean, I don't really have many negative things to say anymore about the mice, but I think that final thoughts, the Razer Viper is a good mouse for most people just to get into. If you're gonna get into something and you see a Razer Viper Ultimate or Viper V2 Pro, pick one up, sure. Good recommend. Low buttons in the front, probably medium to large hands too can use that just fine. Whereas this one is like big medium to large hands for sure. The Deathadder large-handed mouse. I've heard some people talk about wanting a smaller one, kind of like what they did with the Viper Mini. And if you wanted to do that, sure, that's cool. But like, I don't know, the mouse market's got tons of stuff going on, but I'd love to see Razer, you know, innovate, come out with things. As far as Ergo mice, I haven't used a better wireless Ergo mice. I haven't used any actually wireless Ergo gaming mice in like years. So that kind of brought me back on a trip there. But yeah, I would recommend either of these mice to people. I think that if you want a safe bet, still the Viper V2 Pro or the G Pro X Superlight as like your safe, like all around, that could be your end game. Do what I'm doing right now. On my desk, I have the Artisan Hein mousepad. Hein? Like wine? Dude, I said it, okay, there was a video there where I said it wrong, and a lot of people corrected me in the comments. So whatever you want to say, that's cool. That Artisan mousepad with the weave, it's pretty good. And I've been actually liking my Glorius Ice. You can get those on sale. Review coming on that soon. Good stuff there. But honestly, I've heard that like people will just pick up a G Pro X and one of these top tier mouse pads and just call it a day, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think these are great options. But these aren't budget mice for sure. I mean, the price point's a little bit up there, but if you're gonna buy it, totally buy it. Totally recommend. Stamp of approval. That's about it for me. If you have anything you want to know about the mice or my experience with them, comment it below. And if you want to see me review any other mice, please let me know. I'll try to pick up some more out there ones. These were ones I could get just at like Best Buy. Big advantage of those, but I kind of want to review some of these like Pulsar mice and some of these other things that I really like, you know, the underground brands that like only the real people who are buying all these gaming mice really know about. So definitely look into trying those. And so if you want to see that, subscribe, stick around, blah, 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 blah. All right, that's it. See ya. Peace.